Hey guys, we're the Brights. We're from Houston, Texas, and we're here at the CCA, and we just want to talk a little bit about marriage and keeping it fun and keep dating. When I first met my wife, she goes, you know what, after we get married, we're going to continue to date. And I thought, man, I have got the best wife in the world. And then she told me she just went between us.
And I couldn't date other people.
And so when we went out we raised children, and we hadn't dated in such a long time. We went out on our first date. All we did was just look at each other and have dinner. And at the end of the date, we kind of looked at each other and said, well, what do you want to do? And she said, well, let's just go home. So we went home. We were boring as a couple. But we kept continuing to date every Friday night. We still went out. And believe it or not, a few years after that first night of dating that had been such a long time, we started to have fun, we started to have a good time, and we started to look forward to our date nights. Our kids love date night because they get to stay at home by themselves, and they get rid of us, and mom and dad go out, and we enjoy each other's company. And we talk about, we don't talk about the kids, we don't talk about work, we just talk about our dreams and what we have in store for, what God has in store for our life.
And can I make a disclaimer? Because when he said that our very first date that we went out, it sounded like the very first time we met, we went home. We didn't live together the very first night that we met. This was actually after being married a couple of years when we went out on a date. So just wanted to clarify that.
And you know, we're such advocates for marriage because right now marriage is getting such a bad rap. And we just wanted to kind of throw some numbers out there. Did you know that 50% of first marriages fail in the church or out in the secular world? And 67% of second marriages fail, 83% of third marriages fail, and 97% of fourth marriages fail. But when people learn about God and what He has in store for their life, and they're able to go and go to a class about marriage, to learn about personalities, to learn about love languages, and they continue to grow in Christ, only 2% of people get divorced. So that tells us, as a married couple, that, man, we really need to know each other. We need to know how to communicate. I need to know how to apologize to her. I need to know when to apologize. And these are the things that are going to, using Jesus Christ to bind your marriage together.
Well, and sometimes it's hard for couples to talk about issues that they're having, but a good statistic that we learned is that most couples that are having trouble, if they stick together and they don't get divorced, that they've done studies that after 5 years later, those same couples are happier than they were before. And that every couple goes through hard times and has unhappy times, but it's just a season, and that you go through it, and that usually people are happier once they go through it. And the harder the situation they were in, the happier they are at the end. And divorce is not an option, obviously, but divorce is also not a fix, because they think they're going to get divorced, marry someone else, and be happy, and that's not what happens.
And did you know that there is not one proven statistic, and there's not one shred of evidence that tells you that once a person who is married who gets divorced is a happier person? It is just not true.
It's actually almost a given that if you are divorced, that you will lead your family into poverty by becoming divorced, and you'll
to 3 generations.
3 generations, that's right.
So we just want to encourage you guys to get plugged into a Bible-based church, talk to one another, communicate, learn about marriage, learn about love languages, learn about personalities, and do yourself a favor and date your wife.